Greetings, critical thinkers. I am your instructor, KG Smith. Welcome to my brief reminder overview for your final STEM presentation. Um, I go back and I review in weeks 11 and week 13 when I give you a think assignment and I ask you to do your outlines. Those are two separate assignments, too. And the reason I did is because I really wanted to make sure that in week 11, I knew that your paper was going to be due around weeks 14 and 15. So I wanted to kind of make sure you were working on it, giving yourself some structure, beginning to put that time in a month or so before it was actually due. So with that one, I gave you different examples and samples, of, etc., of what an outline is. Now you're in college, you're doing college level work, so I expected, anticipated for you to understand what an outline was. But if you recall, throughout the semester, week 1, week 5 or 6, week 10, constantly, or week 8, constantly gave you some opportunity and time to put together a lot of detailed information towards developing your paper. So it should not have been new. So at that time, I really wanted you to work on this overview. What was your presentation going to look like? Whether it was a paper, or you were doing a PowerPoint, or you were doing even a video for those who are opting to do some type of video presentation, or even a website where you can did your storyboarding so you can kind of know what you're going to say from screenshot to screenshot. But as long as you had some specific outline, that's what I was most concerned about. With week 13, after you kind of put together what was going to be the content of your paper, week 13 was supposed to focus on making sure you knew exactly what I was grading on. That whatever you did, however you formatted your paper, your presentation, whether you're using PowerPoint or Keynote or something else, or even if you did a video, the 5 key things that I will be grading on and assessing to ensure that you really understand the topic, and most importantly, you have learned how to deconstruct issues and analyze issues of scientific nature and value and be able to pull out these 5 characteristics that I'm looking for. So when you do your STEM presentation, it must clearly state the following. Demonstrate the following. I'm looking to make sure that you are able to explain what the main issue is for the topic that you selected. Whatever that main issue or the issues are surrounding that main issues. And even if you were able to focus it and not just talk about the overall global overarching issue, like don't just say HIV and AIDS. I was looking for you to narrow that down, focus HIV and AIDS in the African American community, in the community of urban versus rural, focus it. But whatever the main issues are, after you kind of pointed it down, I asked you a long time ago to kind of tell us what is the premise of your paper. What's the thesis of your paper? If you remember that exercise, I asked you to write it and get some feedback on it. So that's what I'm looking for finally, for you to be able to convey in a couple of paragraphs, a sentence, the first minute or so of your video presentation, the first 2 or 3 slides, I don't know, but whatever the main issues are. The second one is I need for you to be able to present evidence about what the main issues are about your subject. So I'm looking for factually based information, oftentimes objective information or evidence, and not just one side that's going to support what you say, but also what the naysayers are saying, the cons. So that's what I'm looking for. So your paper will be even stronger. You'll get that type of feedback. You get those points for when you're able to present evidence, especially from both sides of the topic. Because after all, we've been exploring 2 sides of the topics in most cases. Sometimes there's a third and a fourth, and for you fence stragglers there. The next topic that I'll be clearly looking for is that you are objectively indicating what the viewpoints from diverse stakeholders. All the people that have some type of some kind of insight or some kind of stake inside whatever the main issues that you have identified. Well, make sure you are indicating what their viewpoints are, not just the pros and the cons of the issues, but their viewpoints. Who is saying what about this? How does this impact them? Why is this so important to them? And not just one stakeholder, not just you, but the different people that you've kind of had a diverse background from understanding. So objectively be able to point out what their viewpoints are. Don't tell me what you think they mean. What have from your research they've said what they mean. So that's what I'm looking for that third bullet point here. Objective viewpoints from diverse stakeholders. The fourth point, then of course you've done all this research, you've got this different these different views. So of course you selected the topic initially because it interests you, but now you found a lot of important information on it. And what I want to know is to make sure that you are able to present your subjective viewpoint. No, that's different from objective, but it still should be based in fact. So whatever your opinion or a point is about it, how you feel strongly about it, after you've looked at all the pros and the cons and the different stakeholders involved with it, you now have an opinion about that topic, this STEM topic. And you should be able to say what your opinion is, but back it up with facts. Don't just say because you feel this way. We've been doing critical thinking for several months now. So at this point, you should understand what I'm looking for. A very important part of your paper. So of course, you're allowed to express your viewpoint and your feelings subjectively, but there still should be some objective nature to it, or at least based off of fact. And then the final part that I'll be looking for in your final STEM presentations, I'll be grading looking for that you have, there's a conclusion. So in the end, your main point, you had an issue, a thought, a theory. Now you have can bring it all home, bring it to a conclusion. Go back to your original premise, go back to your main issue, summarize that stuff. Make sure that you covered everything. And now here's what you're saying in conclusion. The issues are in HIV. The issues are in surveillance. The issues are in privacy. The main conclusion is something. And then you could talk about the implications. What does that mean for society, for science, for you, for your audience? Understand who your audience is so you're writing and presenting to them. And of course, whatever outcomes, if there are any, I don't know, but that's on you. So these are the 5 key things that I will be grading for because you're able to do all this now. I look at your analysis every week now. The questions are geared towards that you are really beginning to challenge one another when you're speaking and reviewing each other's feedback and giving each other's feedback of various topics from doing the think and do assignments. I mean, the think and the seek assignments, and then you get to the do's. You're really taking those topics and you're doing exactly that. So at this point, there's no way why you should not be able to talk about the main issue on a particular article, provide some evidence, a lot of different versions of evidence, and that's what I will be looking for. If you just provide me one, you're going to get dinged on it. Talk about the various stakeholders who has some stake inside this issue, and then talk about how you feel about it, but also base how that feeling is also backed up in facts, not just because you believe in the system or it's the right thing to do. Why is it the right thing to do? Back it up with some facts. And of course, in the end, bring home some conclusions, what those conclusions will imply, what the next steps will be, and then if there's any outcomes. So that's what I'm looking for in your final presentations. And you're going to have not 1, but 2 weeks to really present that, answer all the questions, and then do the same thing and challenge your peers to do the same thing, to make sure that they're thoroughly defending their papers, because what they may not have done in their presentations, perhaps they'll do it when they're responding. And I'll give you more on that a little bit next week when we get ready to post up the papers. So that's it. Enjoy your holiday. I just wanted to give you this quick little note. Do this quick video for you, and I'm going to go now and finish cooking dinner. Okay, I'm pretending. I'm going to go find me some dinners and get my containers so I can go eat. Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. Enjoy this weekend, but it's still a working weekend. Get week 14 done and get those prepared papers ready to be uploaded next week. Papers, presentations, or videos. I'm your instructor, KG Smith. Have a great one. Peace.